Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Gender Equality Seal, like Clema said, brings together the public and private sector enterprises. And in the house tonight, we have big shots, be it in the government, be it in the private sector. All these people have convened in this house. And it is a collective effort involving national governments and the private sector to establish and achieve standards to empower women. Let's give it up tonight for this outstanding event. Let's give it up all. Put your hands together for this important event. And it is for the third time that we are recognizing institutions that have implemented the gender gap. And like Clema has said, today we will be awarding about 9 companies or so that have successfully demonstrated that they are gender accountable. And I was reading in the papers just to understand how far or how Rwanda is doing as far as gender seal is concerned. Do you know we are top 10, actually number 7 in the world? I think, yeah, we all know the government of Rwanda has done immensely as far as gender equality is concerned, but the private sector, where I belong, has not really done it so well. But tonight, I am so excited that there are companies that belong to the private sector that have come out so strongly as far as gender empowerment is concerned. So Clema, I think that was a good introduction, right?
Thank you so much. You know, MCs are not responsible for protocols, but we would like Honorable Minister of Public Service and Labor, RC, UN Resident Coordinator, Mr. Ojielo, UNDP Resident Representative, Chief Gender Monitor. We would like to, if you allow us, to go straight to the agenda implementation, because if you see the green leaflet, there's an agenda. It has been altered a little bit, but I don't want us to repeat it. So you go through it a bit, but we would like to start with the chairperson of the Private Sector Federation, Mrs. Françoise, to come and give welcome remarks. The podium is yours, Madam.
Honorable the Chief Gender Monitor, United Nations Resident Coordinator, Deputy Resident Representative of the United Nations Development Program, Head of Private Sector Companies, government officials, dignified ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I warmly welcome you to this magnificent event of certification and recognition of private companies and public institutions for promoting gender accountability for the third time. I would like to sincerely thank and congratulate Gender Monitoring, the United Nations Development Program, and UN Women, who have been amazing partners in ensuring that the Gender Equality Seal Program is implemented without hindrances, despite the hardships encountered caused by various force measures, which hit everyone hard, but the private sector the hardest. Furthermore, I commend the 10 companies that have made significant progress in bridging gender gaps, as well as recognize the cohort of the 2 private companies which completed their gender equality diagnosis, exercise, and developed their gender equality action plans as a commitment to close gender gaps. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Gender Equality and Accountability Program has been a mirror through which the private sector has had to do self-reflection. Thus far, the Private Sector Federation has registered numerous achievements that include, but not limited to, the development of the second generation, the third generation of the gender mainstreaming strategy for the private sector 2022-2024, that, among others, aims to promote gender equality in the sector and enhance inclusive and sustainable economic transformation. Ladies and gentlemen, regardless of the tremendous achievements of the private sector in bridging the identified gender gaps, persistent challenges have been noted, and highest on the list is the low number of female students pursuing, graduating, and employed in STEM, technical courses, which are key in job creation and accelerating the country's vision of creating decent and off-farm jobs, which will accelerate the country to middle income status by 2035. This will keep the imbalance in job market on the high hands, confining women to the traditional female-dominated job. To address this gap, the private sector works hand in hand with higher institutions of learning, as well as partner with public institutions to upgrade skills among female graduates through dual training and internship programs by implementing workplace learning interventions. I take this opportunity, both the National Bank of Rwanda, to congratulate both the National Bank of Rwanda for the plan they have to launch its gender strategy and Rwanda Standards Board, which will launch the first ever gender standard. Ladies and gentlemen, without taking a lot of your time, I wish to congratulate companies to be awarded and those to launch their gender strategy. Welcome you to this remarkable event and wish you a fruitful evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madame Françoise.
Let's welcome UNDP resident representative, Maxwell Gomera, and his name is unique. It has a very deep meaning. It means Komera, meaning be firm. So ladies here, be firm. You are empowered. Let's hear from Maxwell Gomera.
Thank you very much, Sarah. You're very generous. And thank you, Clément. How does one get as beautiful a voice as the singers we had entertaining us here previously? I would like to find out. Don't you all agree the music was amazing? Honorable ministers, ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed guests, and fellow advocates for change. Bernadette is a tea plucker and a mother of 3. She works for Mata Tea Company in the southern province of Rwanda. She's the primary breadwinner of her family. And like many working mothers trying to stand up to the cost of living crisis, Bernadette found it challenging to balance her work on the plantation with taking care of her children. The physical and emotional trauma of juggling these 2 roles took a toll on Bernadette, and the situation became increasingly dire. Her productivity fell below 20 kilograms of tea leaves per day, and that affected her income. She found herself caught in a vicious cycle. The more she worried about her child and finances, the less productive she became. Now, Bernadette's story is not unique. It's not uncommon. And it resonates with countless working parents who today are grappling with the same dilemmas. The story also highlights the hardships that working mothers and fathers endure, and the urgent need for systemic change and support for working parents. Honorable Ministers, the way the workplace is today is not a law of physics. it is not preordained. It's not something that we have to deal with and live with. It is the outcome of years of social engineering, driven by values that we now need to revisit and change. It's time to agree on common standards that we can all aspire to. And that's why I'm delighted to have my brother Raymond, who is sitting next to me, of the Rwanda Bureau of Standards, who has taken on the challenge of writing into standards the goal of achieving a gender-equal society. Thank you, my brother. Now, his pursuit can be done. It can be achieved. 3 weeks ago, I was fortunate enough to catch up with the CEO of the Development Bank of Rwanda. She expressed her concerns about hiring at least 10% of the staff from the under 25 age group. These are humans at their most productive, both at work and in reproducing. The under 25s are busy. She wondered how they would cope if multiple staff members went on maternity or paternity leave at the same time. As I descended down the stairs of the bank, I couldn't help but marvel at what Campeta's solution means. She has set up an on-site childcare center for children aged 3 months to under 4 years, right here at the Development Bank of Rwanda. It's that kind of leadership, vision, and pragmatism that we celebrate today. Campeta's innovative solution struck me as the perfect way to address the challenges faced by working parents like Bernadette. Fortunately, Bernadette's story took a hopeful turn when Mata Tea Company, in partnership with the Gender Monitoring Office and the Private Sector Federation, thank you very much, established a child care center on the plantation grounds. That child care center hosts 120 children of parents who are working on the plantation. That is amazing. This transformative change allows Bernadette to bring her 2-year-old to work at a safe and nurturing environment while she works. With the weight of the worry lifted from her shoulders, her productivity soared to over 70 kilograms a day, from 20 kilograms a day, over threefold, restoring not only her income, but her sense of dignity and self-worth. Now, Campeta's achievement and Bernadette's story serve as a rallying call for all of us in here, for businesses, for policymakers, for communities, to come together and create supportive structures that help working parents to thrive. Honorable Minister, I would like to extend my deepest gratitude to individuals and organizations who have supported this effort over time. Now, there's always a danger in trying to name individuals and organizations by name, but forgive me if I don't, I miss anyone. But starting with the honorable ministers here, Minister Kairangwa and Professor Janet Baisenge, thank you very much for your leadership and for your work. My brother Ozonia, there must be something in the class of resident representatives. The gentleman who was before him was a he for she, and I thought that was gone, but he came blazing. Thank you very much for your work. My sister from UN Women, Janet Kem, I saw her on the, oh, there you are. Janet, thank you for your work. Mama Rose. I have a story to tell about how I met Mama Rose when I first came to this country. But that's for another day. You've been the champion for this cause, and we very much appreciate what you're doing. It is for all of us. I have 2 daughters. And when I think about the possibility that they could go into a workplace and their worth be defined by their gender, it scares me. Thank you for leading the charge. The CEO and the chairperson of the Private Sector Federation, your work has been amazing. Thank you. The governor of the National Bank, talk about leading by example. Thank you, my brother, Honorable John Rwangombwa. We appreciate your work very much. Thank you. And to all heads of government institutions that are here, the UN family, CEOs, and everyone else who has played a part in this journey, thank you. Thank you, because together we can create a world in which every parent, every child, and every family has an opportunity to flourish. Before the night ends today, I hope we'll have a chance to raise a toast to a future where every Bernadette can thrive, knowing that she and her child are supported and valued. So here's to wishing all of you an evening of celebration and inspiration. Mrakoze chane. Mugire ibirori bjiza. Thank you.
Arakoze cyane, komera. Ukomeze ukomere.
Yeah, let us welcome Honorable Minister to come and give her remarks. Welcome.
Chief Gender Monitor, UN Resident Coordinator, UNDP Resident Representative, Chief Executive Officer of the Private Sector Federation, UNDP Resident Representative, heads of public institutions and private companies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed, good evening. It's my honor and greatest pleasure to be here with you in this cornerstone event of certifying and recognizing private companies and public institutions for promoting gender equality and accountability. My heartfelt appreciation goes to the Gender Monitoring Office, the Private Sector Federation, the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, UN Women, public institutions, private companies, and all stakeholders who made this event successful. I commend your tremendous role in promoting gender equality and accountability at workplace. The government of Rwanda has put in place various policies and laws to foster gender-responsive workplace, promote gender equality, and equal employment opportunities for both men and women. These policies include, but not limited to, the National Employment Policy, National Occupational Safety and Health Policy, Decent Work Country Program, and all of them emphasize the principle of fighting gender-based discrimination. Recognizing that gender is one of key building blocks of our country's good governance, it is vital to promote a conducive environment for both men and women workers, which also has proven to yield higher productivity. To this end, different bold decisions through policies and laws have been adopted. Thanks to the visionary leadership led by His Excellency Paul Kagame, the President of the Republic of Rwanda, who tirelessly champions gender equality promotion in our country and even beyond. The Constitution of the Republic of Rwanda enshrines the principle of gender equality and women's rights and provides for the minimum of 30% quota for women in all decision-making positions. Also, other national laws, including, among others, the law regulating labor in Rwanda, the law establishing the general statute governing public servants, encompass different provisions and principles promoting gender responsiveness at workplace. In this regard, we can highlight provisions and good practices on zero tolerance of gender discrimination at workplaces, equal treatment in recruitment of employees and their management, and even positive discrimination where needed, equal pay for equal work. Annual gender-sensitive plans and budgets and subsequent regular gender budget statement in public institutions, maternity and paternity leave, ECDs, flexible working hour to ensure parental care, to name only a few. Our leadership stresses that inclusive and sustainable development can only be achieved when both women and men are fully engaged and involved at all levels. Ladies and gentlemen, while significant progress has been made, we believe that more can and should be done for more strides in gender equality at workplaces. In taking a gender-sensitive approach, we need to recognize that women and men may be exposed and react differently to workplace patterns, thus requiring different supporting measures. Gender mainstreaming is imperative, with full implication of women and men during the formulation of any policy, legislation, program, and action, as well as their implementation. Gender mainstreaming also implies integrating gender issues into all aspects at all levels of an institution or an organization's objectives, activities, systems, structures, and resources allocation. To address gender disparities at workplaces, gender integration should respond to the specific working conditions and requirements for both women and men. Institutions, both public and private, need to assess where we actually stand with regard to gender responsiveness and continually take bold steps on the journey towards a gender equality conducive environment fulfillment. We always need to remind ourselves what we gain when our workplaces are gender responsive. People of different gender bring unique talent, strengths, and skills which can improve complementarity and result in an innovative and creative environment. As I conclude, a gender-responsive society should not be taken as a slogan. Instead, it is a way of living that we should all embrace. We should all commit to sustain and further achievements recorded. Thank you all for your kind attention.
Arakoze cyane nyakubahwa Minister.
Wow, without taking much of your time, let me welcome the UN Resident Coordinator, Dr. Ozonia Ojielo. As he's coming, please get to know that he's a guy who's passionate about women empowerment. And I'm sure women who work with him can attest to this. Welcome, Mr.
Thank you. Nyakubawa Gender Chair for Gender Promotion, Madam Rose. Nyakubawa Governor, National Bank. Nyakubawa, the various heads of government agencies, Standards Board, distinguished colleagues who are present, Deputy Governor, Central Bank, all the CEOs present, particularly as this is your day, and to acknowledge the tremendous work that many CEOs actually do. So Max, thank you for those perfect examples. And there are many CEOs in this room who are actually following the same practice. So I think we are lucky that we're speaking to the converted. We have champions in this room. And I couldn't thank the Gaga Band enough for this song by Whitney Houston, because in a sense, we can actually conclude the ceremony now. Because what they've just done is reaffirmed our obligations and our commitment to our women our daughters, our colleagues in the office. So Mrire, good evening and happy International Women's Month. It's a real pleasure on behalf of the UN system and the development community in Rwanda to attend today's Gender Sales Certification event and to celebrate this important milestone in our journey towards gender equality in the workplace. This certification does represent a commitment by the companies that are satisfied, the second cohort, to creating a more inclusive and diverse work environment that values the contribution of all employees, regardless of gender. So my dear friends, as we gather this evening, I actually want to take a moment and reflect on the progress that we made so far, and yet acknowledge as the Minister for Public Service and Labor and my brother Max have highlighted that there's still a lot more work for us to do because our women in our workplaces continue to face barriers and discrimination. And so this community of the initiated, of the converted, of believers, we need to challenge these inequalities and work towards a more equitable future. I'm honored to be speaking today, but also to be part of an organization that is taking concrete steps in these regards towards gender equality. So let's celebrate the achievement, but let's continue our collective efforts towards creating a world where everyone has an equal opportunity to succeed. As a minister, and my brother Max have highlighted, I join them in congratulating the government in demonstrating an unwavering political commitment to promoting gender equality, which has resulted in Rwanda attaining the global positions that have been highlighted. And these achievements are not just limited to numbers, but also in voice, in choice, and in power. And I think that the quote by the president captures this very eloquently. So for me, one thing I admire in my 9 months since I arrived in Rwanda is the unity of purpose that is demonstrated in all aspects of life. At times, people think that goals are impossible. Rwanda gets it done. And so when it comes to the zeal to promote women's rights, the political will to promote gender equality is contagious. So we shouldn't be surprised that the private sector is also now stepping up and leading in its own spheres as well. Yet, it is important to remind all of us that there are still several issues that need to be addressed to ensure full gender equality in the workplace. The first is the obvious, the limited access to finance for women-owned businesses who face challenges accessing finance, which limits their ability to grow and compete in the marketplace. And for a host of reasons, we know. The governor is here, so I won't even attempt to offer the reasons. He knows them all out. And all the CEOs are quite aware, the banks are quite aware of these issues. But the second issue we're grappling with is about stereotyping and discrimination. The expectations, the understanding, the projection of traditional gender roles and biases, which unfortunately percolate from the homes and dinner tables to the private sector, leading to discrimination against women in hiring, in promotion, and in pay. Women also face harassment and other forms of gender-based violence in some of the workplaces. The third is about the limited representation in leadership positions. Women are underrepresented in senior leadership positions in the private sector, and naturally, this would influence their ability, this would shape their ability to influence decision-making, but also to advocate for gender equality in the workplace. The fourth is about lack of supportive policies and practices. Many of our companies do not have policies and practices that are in place to support gender equality, such as flexible work arrangements, parental leave, but also gender-sensitive human resource policies. And fifth is about the limited access to training and skills development. Women in the workplace often lack access to training and skills development opportunities, and naturally this will affect their ability to compete for high-skilled jobs and for leadership positions. Esteemed CEOs, I have witnessed a number of companies here that have developed their internal gender policies and are using them to increase the numbers of women in top positions. There are many good stories in this room of companies that have established wellness and breastfeeding rooms in workplaces, including ECDs, early childhood development centers. And I thank Max and my colleagues from UNDP for their reports of how companies have established childcare centers in many places, which has contributed to women seeing increased production and relevance in the workplace, but also of banks that are setting up financial products that are aimed at increasing women's access to finance. These are great initiatives. We are proud of you. Rwanda is proud of you. The world is proud of you. But just like Rwanda, Rwanda needs more. Rwanda wants more. So Rwanda is not comparing itself to any other country. Rwanda wants to set the bar. And so we need to remember the aphorism that says that we can see far when we stand on the shoulders of giants. The greatest he for she champion in the world is our own president. And so we need to be inspired and to emulate his commitment to promote gender equality, because the evidence is also clear that promoting women's rights is smart business. So on behalf of the United Nations system, but also on behalf of the development partners community, I want to say that we're extremely honored and proud to be part of Rwanda's development trajectory that embraces diversity and inclusivity. We congratulate the government for another important milestone in establishing standards that promote gender equality and women's empowerment in the workplace. So thank you, RSB. And to the National Bank, but also to the Private Sector Federation. On behalf of the United Nations and the development partners, we appreciate that RSB has done what it takes to implement this global standard that was established by the United Nations Economic Commission for Europe, but for all of the world. This declaration on gender-responsive standards and the standard development processes that RSB has signed. It's another testament that inclusive development is attainable in any given society. Rwanda's Vision 2050 sets a new pathway that will lead the country to the living standards of being an upper middle-income country, a middle-income country in 2035, and upper middle-income country by 2050. This means an expectation that the GDP per capita will be over $4,000 and over $12,000 by 2035 and 2050 respectively. This is only attainable when the private sector embraces gender responsiveness and gender accountability, since the private sector is the engine of growth for most any society. And this is also possible when women are not left behind in the boardrooms, when the private sector exercises zero tolerance to sexual violence and gender-based violence, but also when there's a gender-conducive environment where women and girls, women and men, boys and girls thrive and contribute to national development with equal pay for work of equal value. Looking at the recent population and housing census findings, the female population of Rwanda is now at 51.5%. So it needs no gainsaying that every development agenda must take into account the specific needs and interests of men and women. And so, as we embark on developing the second generation of Rwanda's National Strategy for Transformation, NSC2, we must continue to support the government and to ensure that gender equality remains a top priority and a basis for achieving the 2030 Agenda on Sustainable Development. This is our core priority. This is the priority of the government, and I have no doubt that for Private Sector Federation and all its members, this has also become their core priority. Distinguished partners, ladies and gentlemen, promotion of women's rights is a top priority and a strong foundation for the United Nations system, but also the United Nations Charter to which our countries have subscribed. I am proud to share that United Nations agencies are also practicing what they preach. At the United Nations headquarters, we've achieved gender parity in senior management, improving our work and better representing the communities we serve. At the cadre of resident coordinators, there is 130 of us around the world supporting 150 countries. We actually have almost 52% women and 48% men. And the United Nations country team in Rwanda has more women heads of agencies than men, and my own office has only 2 men out of 10 staff members. I'm also proud that my brother UNDP, under his leadership, the UNDP was awarded a gold gender seal. And Max, I'm informed that you are set to win it again for this year. Yes. Thank you. So let's challenge each other. Let's challenge ourselves, particularly those companies that are still in a gender-women dilemma, to embrace gender accountability. But dear friends, we have succeeded with this proof of concept in Rwanda. And congratulations to the Private Sector Federation for the first cohort, and now we have a second cohort. So the Gender Monitoring Office reports, but also information from UNDP confirm that there's evidence that the companies that have participated in the Gender Equality Seal certification are actually reporting better work environments, increased productivity, increased company revenues, and many more returns. So we have reason to believe that being involved in the Gender Seal certification is not a loss, but actually leads to higher returns on investment. So as I conclude, I'd like to call on partners to prioritize financing for gender equality, to invest in gender accountability through support to the Gender Seal certification program. I once again congratulate the government, specifically Mama Rose and the team, and the Private Sector Federation for working tirelessly with UN agencies, notably UNDP and UN Women, acknowledging my colleague Janet, for implementing this wonderful program. Thank you, Max and Janet, for leading on behalf of the UN family. I salute the companies, but also the government institutions that have worked hard to achieve these results. And I'd like to pledge the United Nations' continued support to ensure that no one is left behind in achieving gender equality for sustainable development. Let us enjoy the evening, and once again, our congratulations to all the companies that would be awarded their seal tonight. Murakoze Chiane, Mugire Umugoroba Wamagaju. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ozonia. So the next session is about the launch of 3 things I told you. As the technical team prepares a video to show it here, I would like to call upon Mr. Rangomba to get ready to launch the BNR Gender Mainstreaming Strategy. We'll tell you how we'll do it, but we'll also prepare the members of the Gender Equality Certification Program steering committee.
As the technical team is working on that, maybe the lighting team can dim the lights because it's a video. It's just a 2-minute video that we want it to be followed very clearly. And
then the members of the steering committee for the program, that includes PSF, GMO, UNDP, and of course RC, they'll be ready to be handed over something, and then they'll hand it over to Honorable Minister of Gender. So, technical team, please.
Are you ready, the technical team? Okay.
The National Bank of Rwanda has developed a 5-year gender mainstreaming strategy. The aim of this strategy is to increase the productivity and engagement of the National Bank of Rwanda male and female staff.
This strategy will also promote a gender-inclusive financial system, increase knowledge and skills to mainstream, communicate gender in policies and programs, and improve partnership with stakeholders involved in gender-related aspects.
Our vision is to achieve gender equality in economic and financial sector development.
Our mission is to contribute to economic and financial sector development by creating a conducive environment to ensure that men and women are equally valued, facilitated, and given equal opportunities.
This strategic plan will focus on 4 main themes for the next 5 years.
The National Bank of Rwanda to be employee of choice with the objective to increase the productivity and engagement of NBR male and female staff. The bank shall strive to be the employer of choice by providing equal opportunities and creating a conducive environment for the attraction and retention of competent and skilled female and male staff.
conducive regulatory environment to ensure gender-inclusive financial system, the bank shall develop gender-inclusive policies and regulations that promote increased development and uptake of financial products and services for both male and female.
Capacity in gender analysis and gender mainstreaming to improve knowledge and skills to mainstream and communicate gender in the bank. The bank commits to mainstream gender analysis in its policies and programs through improved sex disaggregated data processing and management.
Strategic partnering. The bank shall create a collaborative relationship with its stakeholders to work towards a common gender-inclusive goal through mutually agreed division of labor.
In order to deliver the current gender strategy, there is need to ensure synergized efforts from all concerned stakeholders.
To learn more about NBR's gender mainstreaming strategy, visit our website www.bnr.rw.
Thank you so much for a good video. Now, this is the moment for the Central Bank. We'd like to invite you, Honorable John Rwangoma, to come forward. Yeah, I'd like to repeat that Chief Gender Monitor, Mama Rose, please come forward and they hand over something to you. And then I think, Mr. John, you'll say something. And then Mama Rose, if you want to make any comment, you can.
Yes, I know I'll be making remarks shortly, but I just wanted to say what I'm giving you, Madam Rose. These are copies of our gender mainstreaming strategy. As we launch it, we want you to give it to the committee responsible for this. Thank you.
I think it is too heavy for me. Let me call UNDP. Can you, Komera, come forward? Janet Kem, can you come forward? And RISB and PSF, please come forward. It is too heavy for me, and it is for you. PSF, CO. CO? Don't worry, there is more. We're going to give to all of you, but a bit later. Thank you so much, Governor. We are really, really surprised by this good product, but not only by the package, but by the content. It is extraordinary, it is useful, and we congratulate BNR. Thank you so much. And we launch. We launch?
We do.
The BNR?
We launched the gender mainstreaming strategy as presented of the BNR.
Congratulations and jubilations. I want the world to know I'm happy as can be. Who would believe?
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I know it's not easy to speak after the keynote speaker and the ministers, but I'll take this opportunity since we are launching our strategy. So let me start by addressing the honorable ministers here present, Minister of Gender, Minister of Labor, the Chief Gender Monitor, UN Resident Representative, UNDP Country Director, and other UN officials here present, other government officials here present, chairperson of the PSF, other private sector players here present, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm really delighted to be part of this special gathering as we celebrate the institutions that have formally enshrined gender empowerment in their way of life. In a special way, I want to thank the Gender Monitoring Office, our host tonight, for giving us this opportunity to launch the National Bank of Rwanda's gender mainstreaming strategy during this event. In the same spirit, allow me to express my gratitude to all the stakeholders that have worked with us through the journey of developing this strategy, specifically the Gender Monitoring Office and the UNDP. Your valuable support was greatly appreciated. My appreciation also goes to my colleague, the Deputy Governor, and our Gender Mainstreaming Committee, who has been at the center of ensuring that gender equality is integrated into the processes and policies of the National Bank of Rwanda. A lot has been accomplished. Among those achievements is what we are launching this evening, the 5-year National Bank of Rwanda Gender Mainstreaming Strategy. This is a significant milestone for the bank as we reaffirm our commitment to promoting gender equality and inclusion in all our policies and operations. At the National Bank of Rwanda, we recognize the vital role that gender equality plays in society's economic and social development. Studies show that when women are empowered, economies grow and communities thrive. Therefore, we believe that promoting gender equality is not only a moral imperative, but also an economic one. The National Bank of Rwanda Gender Mainstreaming Strategy outlines the bank's commitment to creating an enabling environment that promotes gender equality, diversity, and inclusion. It is our roadmap towards realizing our goal of gender-responsive financial sector that promotes economic empowerment for all, irrespective of the gender. Our strategy is designed to ensure that all our operations, policies, and procedures are gender-sensitive and that we actively promote gender equality and inclusion within the bank and beyond. It is also our commitment to enhance the capacity of our staff to integrate gender considerations into their day-to-day work. Specifically, the strategy will look at 4 key areas. You allow me to repeat it. I know it has just been said in the video, but as they always say, the message will sink and be understood better when it's repeated again and again. So our strategy will focus on internally continuing to become an employer of choice by improving equal participation of men and women in the National Bank of Rwanda functions and levels, and improving male and female staff engagement and teamwork. 2 is creating a conducive regulatory environment by increasing gender mainstreaming in the financial system, improve monitoring and evaluation of gender mainstreaming programs across the financial sector. At this point, I would like to call upon my colleagues in the financial sector to continue addressing gender gaps, such as coming up with products that address women's financial needs, and also to advocate for women's presence in leadership positions. Number 3 is to build capacity in gender analysis and gender mainstreaming among our staff and beyond, working with the other financial institutions. And finally, is creating strategic partnerships by collaborating with different stakeholders in the implementation of the strategy. Honourable Ministers, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, I'm speaking after the keynote speaker and the minister, so I want to keep my remarks very brief, and I want to conclude by once again reassuring you the National Bank of Rwanda's commitment to promoting gender-responsive policies and practices both in our institutions and across the financial sector. We look forward to partnerships with the private sector, especially the financial institutions, as we collectively strive to achieve this noble cause. I wish you a wonderful evening and thank you for your kind attention.
Yeah, thank you so much, the Governor of the National Bank of Rwanda. Now, up next is a very exciting opportunity where we're going to hear more about the private sector through the cluster, which brings together the women, the youth, and people living with disability. I don't know if that's the right way, but this is a specialized cluster that brings together this marginalized group. So the technical team, are we ready for the video? Great.
I'm the founder of 1000 Hills Products. 1000 Hills Products is a company that adds value to Rwandan agri-products and exports them to Europe mainly. We have been operating for the past 8 years, and I'm also a member of PSF Specialized Cluster.
I'm the Managing Director of AfriFood Limited. We do export of fresh fruit and vegetables like avocado, chili, passion fruit. We export to Europe and Middle East.
I work for Polista Namtech Limited. Mainly it's a company which develops and customizes the assistive devices.
Mfite uruganda rukora imyenda hano I Kigali mu Rwanda rwitwa Dicam. Dicam ni uruganda rugiye kumara imyaka 5. Dufite abakozi bagera kuri 210, 138 n'abakozi bahoraho bakora amasaha yose bari kuri contrat, n'abandi bakozi 72 bagenda baza ku gihe cy'ibiraka igihe akazi kabaye kenshi.
Kampani yanjye yitwa Google Isaro Art. Nkora ibintu by'ubugeni, ndi umunyabukorikori nkora amasaro.
You have the tax advisory, you have the marketing, advisory and support. You have access to finance, you have different ways, you have access to trade information.
So Specialized Cluster has really helped us a lot. First of all, by networking and connecting with the other entrepreneurs.
There is a center which helps persons with disabilities, youth and women to do research regarding to what they need, and they also give us tax advisory and the skills required to finance or skills to finance. They help you to access finance, and even they helped us to create or to know how innovative we could be.
Iyo ucuruza, iyo ukora business uri wenyine, hari amakuru utamenya, hari ibyo utamenya, ariko cluster cyashya tufite izajya dufasha guhura n'abadamu bagenzi bacu, izajya dufasha kumenya amakuru mu mabanke yo mu bigo by'imari binyuranye, tunamenya hagati yacu ibiri kugenda n'ibitari kugenda kugira ngo duhugurane.
Twaracuruje, twiga no ku bintu bigiye bitandukanye n'ibyacu kugira ngo tuhugurane mu bumenyi. N'ubu ngubu nzajya Dar es Salaam, mfite amasoko nahuriyeho n'abo badamu, kuri urwo rubuga twahuriyeho nzabashyiraho ibyacu bakunze, tubifashwemo na PSF. Umuntu hari byinshi tugenda tumenya cyangwa twungutse.
You actually come to the Entrepreneurs Desk, which for me seems like a one-stop center for the entrepreneurs, and then you're actually helped get information right on hand.
To connect with other young entrepreneurs and also women and people with disability who will be able to access the platform. And lastly, also is mentorship.
Putting more efforts on doing research needed or research-based assessment to know what persons with disabilities need.
Twiteguye byose kuba part of, twiteguye kubijyamo, twiteguye kubishyigikira.
PSF ishyigikira urubyiruko, abari, abategarugori, abamugaye. PSF iradufasha ugereranyije.
Nitwa Mushimiyimana Eugenia, nkaba ndi umwe mu banyamuryango b'urugaga rw'abikorera PSF. ndetse nkaba narabaye mu buyobozi butandukanye bw'urwo rugaga rwacu nk'abamambure. Aya meza atwakira nk'abikorera n'ameza azadufasha guhura nk'aba rwiyemezamirimo, nk'abacuruzi mu masekiteri atandukanye, mu byiciro bitandukanye azadufasha guhura, tumenyane, umuntu wese amenye icyo mugenzi we akora, nugira icyo ukenera umenya aho ugishakira. Ikindi azadufasha kumenyana, umenye mugenzi wawe, umenye uko ateye, uko atekereza, aho yerekeza, bigufashe kumwigiraho nawe agira icyo akwigiraho.
Amazina yanjye nitwa Bernard Muhirwa, ndi umukozi mu rugaga rw'abikorera mu cyiciro cyihariye gihuriza hamwe urubyiruko, abagore n'abafite ubumuga bari muri business. Tubahaye ikaze muri specialized cluster, aho tubaha amahugurwa, tukabagira inama ndetse tukabafasha no kugera ku isoko mu buryo bwo kubahuza n'abaguzi ndetse n'abagurisha ibyo mukeneye. Murakoze.
My name is Annette Benegusenga. I'm the executive assistant to the specialized cluster. Dear members, we welcome you all. At Entrepreneurs Desk Services, we are very glad to help you and assist you wherever you are in the country. Thank you.
Wow, and that is the Private Sector Federation, one of the clusters, the specialized clusters. As you all know, Private Sector Federation is an umbrella organization that brings together the private sector community. I belong to the private sector. So today, being the moderator, don't think that's the business that I do. I'm into the hospitality sector and also agribusiness. Tonight, I'm just doing it as a voluntary kind of assignment, and I hope you're enjoying it, right? Now, just a summary for those who didn't follow the Kinyarwanda part. These are the voices of the members of the Private Sector Federation through the specialized clusters. We were able to listen to some of the testimonies of how this entrepreneurship desk has facilitated these women, these youth, these persons with disability. And one of the women cited out that from the time she joined the cluster, she was able to network and was able to be part of one of the forum called the 50 Million Africa Women Speak platform. And through that, she's been able to make connections in Africa. And soon she'll be going to Tanzania to network and make her business grow further. She's into the Made in Rwanda business, and we hope to see her next speak about her growth in the business. So at this moment, without taking much of your time, let me welcome the chairperson for the specialized cluster, Madame Therese Sekamana, who is going to invite other partners that are going to launch tonight something so exciting, the entrepreneurship desk. As a private person, I know what this desk means to me. I don't know what you think this desk is going to do to the private sector, but for me, I know it's a desk that I can go there, make connections, get to know, does the Ministry of Gender have something for me as a woman? Does the Ministry of Commerce and Trade have something for me? Does BNR have some special notes designed for me as a woman? Does the bank CEOs have opportunities for us as women as far as access to finance? So this desk that tonight we're going to launch is going to be an answer to all of us in this cluster, the specialized cluster. This is your floor. Invite whoever you want to invite and take us through the desk and the launch.
Thank you very much. I think my colleague said it all, but Mr. Ghana said it as well. We need more. Thanks to you, we got the entrepreneur's desk, but soon we'll come back to knock the door. Without taking time, I would like to invite those people who did believe in our dreams and who made it real. Mama Rose. UNDP representative. Madam Janet, UN Women representative. We are not the one who made the entrepreneur's desk. These people are the one who made it happen. A round of applause to them. Yes. You just
There's got to be some prize to being a CEO. Behind all this work, actually, are staff members of UNDP, UN Women, and the Gender Monitoring Office. I want to honor them all. But tonight, it's our dance.
Congratulations and celebrations when I tell everyone that you're in love with me. Congratulations and jubilations. I want the world to know I'm happy as can be. Who would believe that I could be happy and contented? I used to think that happiness hadn't been invented. Days before I met you, when I let you walk into my heart.
Congratulations, Specialized Cluster. Congratulations again. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, this is a session for launch. So many interesting things. Now, the next move, I would like to welcome the Director General of Rwanda Standards Bureau. Mutongera kunsuzugura namenye ko ari ikigo cy'igihugu gitsura ubuziranenge. Mr. Raymond, please come forward, and the way you want to launch it, as he comes, nababwiye ko nakoresheje amandazi ariko n'amazi kuvuga uti agomba kuba arimo pH ingana gutya bimeze gutya nabyo niko bizaba bimeze. Akira.
Rakoze. I wanted to invite my permanent secretary, Richard. Mama Rose, need to come again. And Mr. Max Gomera, UNDP representative. I wanted to hand over the standards, the Rwanda standards on gender equality, requirements for implementation, promotion, and accountability.
When I tell everyone that you're in love with me, congratulations and jubilations. I want the world to know I'm happy as can be. Who would believe that I could be happy and contented? I used to think that happiness hadn't been invented, but that was in the bad old days.
Once again, there is a video that we prepared for this particular event.
Building
better world requires the participation of everyone equally. A better world is the one that unleashes everyone's rights and potential to thrive in the family, workplace, innovation, research, and technology. It is a world that embraces and promotes gender equality. Standards are benchmarks for quality and safety of people, products, and services, and they contribute inspiring, inclusive, sustainable development. Rwanda Standards Board is committed to the noble cause to promote gender equality. And in 2020, RSB signed a declaration on gender-responsive standards and standards development with the aim to support achieving Rwanda's transformational development agenda that is framed and aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, especially goal number 5 on gender equality. Working with different national and international partners, the commitment to promote gender equality was transformed into inspiring gender accountability. And hence, today, we are pleased and applaud the launch of the very first ever Gender Equality Rwanda Standard RS 550 2023. This standard contains the requirements that are set to assist organizations to embed gender equality in their workplaces and their respective way of working, and consistently promote, implement, and account for gender equality irrespective of the nature of their work, business, or services. It is easy to implement. An organization only needs to align the standards requirement with its purpose and strategic direction. And this is reflected as the organizational goals and aspirations, policies, processes, documented working procedures, and the organization finally commits to allocate its resources needed to implement and maintain gender equality. This standard comes to complement other instruments and initiatives available on gender equality, but not to replace them. Implementing the standard brings enormous benefits to the organization as it assists in making gender equality decisions based on the analysis and evaluation of data and information to produce desired results, continually promoting gender equality, supporting the organizations in fulfilling their gender equality legal obligations, focusing effort on key processes and opportunities for improvement, establishing unity between the organization's purpose and direction, and thus creating conditions in which people are engaged in achieving the organization's gender equality and objectives and managing its relationship with stakeholders. RSB is ready to assist you in implementing this standard. Our role is to help improve the quality and safety of products, services, and systems by enabling the creation of standards and encouraging their use. In line with the implementation of RS 560/2023, RSB offers training and technically assists organizations during implementation of the standard. We also provide audits and certification services as third-party attestation that an organization promotes, implements, and accounts for gender equality. Time is now. Join the move to promote gender equality and build a better world.
Thank you very much. Honorable Ministers, Honorable Governor, UN Resident Coordinator, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Trade and Industry, UNDP Resident Representative, Chairperson, Private Sector Federation, Chief Gender Monitor, all protocols observed. Good evening once again. It is with a great pleasure to be invited in this important event, and we take this opportunity to launch the first ever standards in Africa published by a national standard body. These standards on gender equality provides requirements for promotion, implementation, and accountability. It is applicable to all categories of organizations, regardless of their location, size, and the field of activities. Like many other organizations in Rwanda, RISB has responded to this challenge and is shining the gender torch in all our operations with a strategic organization push, a gender action plan to advance the transformation agenda of our country. We are aware that standards touch almost every aspect of our lives. Standards facilitate trade, reduce costs, and support innovation. But in order to make them effective in responding to current and future challenges, gender must become an integral part of standardization, not least for safety. These standards will allow us to establish a common language to help us understand each other better, improve dialogue, and support the implementation of best practices and operational tools in all organizations. If we look into the standards we are launching today, you will see that a list of different partners we worked with to develop these first standards on gender equality. And we take this opportunity to thank GMO for chairing the technical committee and UNDP for your financial support. And we are very grateful for all supports. Last but not least, we believe that this journey will continue by using these standards as a tool to guide gender equality certification in Rwanda, and we will make sure that the same standards is simplified for easy implementation, uplifted to African level through African Standardization Organization, and later at international standards levels at ISO level. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
This is so unique. No translation. We would like me and Chirenga to invite you for dinner. There's also a documentary. The technical team will be airing it, but welcome for dinner. Please, Serena team will help you. Enjoy.
As I do tonight, I can never see the place you will bring. Such a conflict could be out of my mind. I have been blind, baby, rain. You're my lady, rain. Lady in rain.
Minicom keep doing everything to make sure that issues around the gender sensitivity are covered. First of all, on our policies, because as a ministry we care, we propose, we develop policies to be implemented in our government, and of course the gender sensitivity is one of the chapter we make sure that we have. So currently we are revising our policies, industrial policy, trade policy. Those are the main policies we have in our ministry, and we are making sure that the gender will be covered, not only in terms of numbers to say that we have enough women, not. So you have to make sure that even the content, even the implementation plan cover from the policy level to practical, even budgeting level, to make sure that what we do in the business will be covered. We have been supporting women, as I have said, along the value chains we have. Value chains is from agriculture to businesses, small businesses, of trade, from trade to services. So we have now, if you see the current situation on cross-border trade, the big number is women in terms of sellers, in terms of doing business. We have distributed some equipment in Rubavu and in Nyamasheke. Some of them are equipment to be used on cold chain because they sell milk and fruit and the horticultural product, and transport means in the Rubavu sector to make sure they can transport easily or they trade instead to use their head and their body. So we have covered a good number, but as you can see, and you know for sure, services or infrastructures are not enough. We have to make sure that we give them skills, enough skills.
Some of the initiatives we've been implementing are, interestingly, have been appreciated by the Gender Seal Committee and program. And these include the fact that we increased paternity leave from 4 days to 14 days, and it's paid. Secondly, we introduced flexi hours post-maternity. So after 3 months, one of our staff can come and work between 8 to 1 o'clock or between 1 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And that has been something that a lot of people have found very exciting. And as long as you arrange that with your head line manager, that is seen to be quite a benefit. The other thing we've done, which was a first in Rwanda as a commercial bank, was introduce women's community and a men's community. Definitely parity, because men have different issues and women have different issues, and we cannot be thinking that we can work together efficiently if we don't address both. So we've created communities where both can feel safe. So when we set up the mother's room, at first we set it up only for women who were pregnant or needed to breastfeed. But then there were women who were saying, sometimes in the month we really struggle. We need somewhere to rest. So the Gender Seal program actually made us look and say, what are we doing that needs to be adjusted? So really what I would say about the Gender Seal program, it's like an eye-opener for a leader and for supervisors to see what can they improve, and definitely productivity has gone up, and a sense of loyalty and appreciation from our staff.
Yeah, let me start by thanking the Gender Monitoring Office and the other partners for their valuable support in our journey towards the Gender Equality Seal. Promoting gender equality is not just a matter of social justice, but a crucial pillar for sustainable and socio-economic development of any society. When women and girls have equal opportunities, they contribute fully and equally to the cause, leading to more innovative solutions, increased productivity, and stronger economies. As we all know, as Rwanda aspires to become a high-income country by the year 2050, the government has committed to mainstream gender in all national policies and strategies. On the financial sector front, we are paying greater attention to the gender dimension of financial inclusion, recognizing that women face unique challenges in accessing financial services. Financial institutions are encouraged to develop products and services that address women's needs. We reviewed the NBR organizational structure and included a dedicated department for financial sector development and inclusion. One of the key areas this department is tasked to address is closing the gender equality gap in financial inclusion. In line with the national agenda, the National Bank of Rwanda has also embarked on mainstreaming gender in all its policies, practices, as an institution as well as a regulator of the financial sector. Starting from the workforce, historically, central banks have been male-dominated institutions with women being underrepresented. Unfortunately, NBR hasn't done much better in this aspect, as women make up only 32% of our staff numbers. To address this issue and the other issues of gender inequality, NBI is taking measures aimed at promoting gender equality and increasing women's representation in senior positions. These measures include, but are not limited to, implementing recruitment and promotion policies that are free from gender bias, providing training and development opportunities for women, ensuring that workforce-life balance policies are gender sensitive. In our remote working policy, new mothers are allowed to work from home until the baby turns 6 months to allow them ample time for breastfeeding, while fathers are allowed 1 month to support the mother and the newborn baby. So once the mother is back to office after 6 months, the bank has created a lactation room well equipped for breast milk pumping and storage. So I'm proud to say that before the end of 2022, BNR had put in place a gender mainstreaming strategy that reinforces gender equality across BNR functions. The vision of this strategy is to achieve gender equality in economic and financial sector development.
So a couple of the things that we do at Nhomoko that we're really proud of is, first, we have a very equitable pay scale, where that women and men within the organization are paid equally and fairly. The other thing that we have done is we have a really great parental leave program for both our mothers and our fathers. Fathers at Nhomoko get 8 weeks of paid paternity leave. And we know that offering more equitable parental leave means that there's less discrimination in our hiring. We're less likely to discriminate against hiring a young woman when her counterparts are also offered almost identical parental leave. That's something that we've worked really hard to implement, and we're really proud of the results that we see.
The main 3 activities that we did is, first of all, recruitment. We are trying to increase the number of women in the company. And every time we are publishing a position, we are getting like 100 applicants, men, and 1 or 2, or even sometimes none, applicants of women. So we took different measures how to increase the number of women in the company, and we succeeded last year to recruit 30 women, and we have the intention to continue with this. Another activity that we are doing is to promote women that are already working in the company. In the last year we promoted 40 women, and also we have the intention to continue. And maybe the third activity I can mention is taking care of women pregnant and after giving birth by finding solution for breastfeeding. So we prepare the room for women in the company, and the women that preferred to go home, we are taking them home with the company cars just to breastfeed the baby and come back to work. We want to continue with the recruitment and promotion of women. The national target is to reach 30%, but my personal target is to reach 50%. So there is no reason that we will not achieve also that in our company 50% of the women, and in a key position 50% will be women.
We've seen a lot of changes because we've been very deliberate and intentional in terms of what we're doing. Right from across board, starting off with the board, right to the last level in the business. We've been able to make great strides as far as representation is concerned. For example, at the board level, out of a board of 11, 4 are ladies. This represents about 37%. So that's a huge achievement we've been able to register. Across the business as well, on key roles, we've been able to assign women to man those specific roles. A key one I would mention is the head of quality in our plant. This is, today we have a lady who is doing extremely well. She's developed from lower levels and has been developed very deliberately to get her to that position. Across the business, you'll be able to find notable women representation, and this is something that we are very deliberate and intentional about, and we intend to continue to do.
Mu bikorwa twagiye dukora bitandukanye, icya mbere hari komite twashyizeho ishinzwe uburinganire, hari ubukangurambaga buhoraho busigaye buba mu kigo kugira ngo abakozi bose abo dukorana babyiyumvemo, hari ibyumba byo konkerezamo byashyizweho no ku buryo buri officiel bitari kwa kundi umuntu yazaga akagira ngo wenda ni privilege, ahubwo noneho akumva ko ari uburenganzira bwe kugira ngo nawe umusaruro atanga mu kigo wiyongere. Iyo umwana agize igihe cyo gutangira, dufite ishuri ryitwa College Fondation Sena Gerard ryakira abana b'inshuke. Hari riri hano hafi ryekereye icyicaro, hari n'irindi riri ruguru gatoya, ariko ku buryo ari ababyeyi baturutse kure, ari ababyeyi bakorera hano hafi bose bisangamo. Noneho ikindi kiyongeyeho nuko iyo dukorana mu myishyurire turaborohereza, bitandukanye no kuvuga ngo Minerva rirageze itariki ni yingi ni nyirenza baranyirukanira umwana cyangwa se oya. Ibyo ngibyo tubikuraho, turakorana tukakorohereza uburyo uzishyuramo kugira ngo nawe ukore wishimye uvuga ngo hari icyo ndusha abandi kuba ikigo Sena Gerard gifite College Fondation Sena Gerard.
Abana banje biga muri entreprise Urwibutso, mfite abana babiri b'abakobwa niho biga, bafite imodoka zibatwara zibavana mu rugo zikabajyana ku kigo. Nakurikiranye ubuzima bwabo, iyo bagezeyo bitabwaho mu buryo bwose, ndetse n'umwe wiga muri nasari iyo saa sita zigeze ntabwo ataha, ahubwo bakomeza kubitaho bakabahereza aho baryama, bakanywa amata. Bivuze ngo iyo ndi mu kazi numva ntuje kandi akazi nkagakora neza, kuko mba mvuga nti umwana wanjye ikigo cyashyizeho uburyo bwo kumwitaho, bigatuma nkora ntuje nta kibazo mfite.
We have set up a gender equality promotion and mainstreaming committee, which one is mandated to be following on the day-to-day basis on gender-related activities. We are also continuing increasing the number of female in the agency. We started with few, and in the recent recruitment, we had really a chance to bring on board new female staff. And by today we are above the 30. We are now doing our best in order to promote the gender equality promotion and mainstreaming, and this will be emphasized in all the priority we'll be implementing in the future. And also in increased partnership with development partners and other institutions that support gender in implementation programs in capacity building, financing of women-led SMEs, and creation of gender monitoring toolkits.
Twasanze cyane cyane mu mirimo dukoreramo yo gusoroma hari mw'ababyeyi bafite abana, kugira ngo bazamure umusaruro twashyizeho ECD. Dufite ECD ifite amashami abiri ahangaha, rimwe riri hano ku ruganda ririmo abana barenga 70, hari n'irindi muri hirya gatoya ko dufite ibyaye mu birometero birenga 30, bose mwe bakaba abana bageze ku 120. Ikindi kijyanye n'icyo twagezeho nuko mu ruganda burya harimo imirimo isa nkaho yari tinyitse ku gitsina gore, twabashyize muri mu nzego zifata ibyemezo. Duhereye nko mu mirima harimo abagoronome bageze kuri 3 b'igitsina gore kandi bayobora segiteri z'ibyaye nk'uko n'abagabo babikora, bagenzi babo babikora. Tuje aha mu ruganda imbere mu batunganya icyayi naho dufitemo abagore abo bita batimeka, naho dufitemo abagore n'abagabo. Umutimeka nawe afata responsibility nk'uko umugabo azifata. Hari ahandi hasa nkaho umuntu yagombye gusa n'uwibaza byinshi mu mashini. Dufite imashini zicagagura icyayi, mbere abagore barabitinya, ariko aho dutangiye kubashyiriramo butumaze kugira nk'abagore 3 bashobora no kuba bari mu ruganda nta mugabo urimo kandi bigakunda.
Mbere yuko irerero riza nabaga mfite imbogamizi kuko nasoromaga ibiro bikeya, nasoromaga nk'ibiro 20 gusubiza hasi, ariko aho irerero ritangiriye umwana namujyanyeyo ubu nsoroma nk'ibiro 50 gusubiza hejuru.
honorable ministers, distinguished guests, I'm very sure you enjoyed. Since I coordinate inclusive governance at UNDP, I hope there's no one left behind. This was a very important session and compulsory, so I hope you enjoyed. And without taking much of your time, because we have already surpassed the agenda, we would like to come to the third session. You know, the first session was remarks, opening, and the second one was the launch, 3 launches, and the third one, which is also very, very important. This is a celebration. This is fun. We are going to certify and award 9 companies and institutions that were able to pass the mark. These 9 companies underwent, I just want to summarize the process. You know, UNDP, GMO, PSF engages CEOs. You know, we tell them, we explain to them what joining this initiative is all about, the advantages, there are no disadvantages so far. And if they decide, they do a kind of assessment before an independent external evaluation comes in, where a consultant comes and evaluates you using certain benchmarks. And I don't want to repeat them. Do you have a gender committee? What is the composition? Do you have policies on gender, sexual harassment? All these that they repeated. And after that, there's a report that comes out that gives marks. If you have, for instance, between 8 and above, you get gold, then below, you get silver, and then bronze. And then, tonight, we are dealing with 2 categories. There are companies and institutions that I'm going to mention that are being certified and awarded. And what that means, they'll get a certificate, but also get a medal. And there are 2 companies that will be recognized because they've been engaged, they've showed the commitment, they have not undergone. They have not failed. They have not undergone an independent evaluation, but this is an indication that they are ready to. So the following, actually, as I told you, the first category is gold, silver, and bronze. And the following, actually, that I'm going to read before I call them in front, first of all, is Minicom, Minister of Commerce and Industry. PS Minicom, come in front. I guess my colleagues that are going to bring the certificate and medal are there. So I just wanted to say that congratulations, Minicom. They got gold. This is a government ministry. Getting gold means a lot. Congratulations. I don't know how to sing, but I think the technical team there that is supposed to play the song is.
When I tell everyone that you're in love with me, congratulations and jubilations. I want the world to know I'm happy as can be.
Congratulations. And would like to ask Minicom to stay there. Second, I would like to call the National Bank of Rwanda. Congratulations. And if you can also join.
Sorry, can I request the Deputy Governor and the Gender Civil Committee to join me here, please?
Congratulations. Thank you so much, BNR. Thank you so much. I would like to ask, if you don't mind, BNR to stay there, maybe 1 or 2, to stay on the line. And then I would like to
Jubilations. I want the world to know I'm happy as can be.
We would like to invite and congratulate Nilda.
And celebrations when I tell everyone that you're in love with me.
Nilda will be awarded by Honorable Minister of Gender and Family Promotion. What is Nilda in full?
National Industrial Research and Development Agency.
Would like to call the representative of REG. REG, as she walks in front, would like to call PSF CEO to come and please help us to award REG. As they take pictures, I would like to call Simerwa for cement. Congratulations. Simerwa will be awarded by UN Women Country Representative. It's not about Simerwa. Congratulations. I would like to call Ingomoko. Congratulations, Ingomoko. Ingomoko team, please join quickly. You get a gold seal. Congratulations. Would like to call the chief gender monitor to come and to come and award Ingomoko.
I want the world to know I'm happy as can be. Who would believe that I could be happy and but that was in the bad old days before I met you. When I let you walk into my heart. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
And celebrations.
After that, would like to call the CEO of Matter Tea Company that you saw that is doing a tremendous job to promote women's rights and child care and stuff. Congratulations. And would like to call the CEO of Wolfram, Mr. Kalima, to come and award. Thank you so much. Would like to call, if you've been having dinner without paper, Koda Kawanga. I'm not advertising, No. Mr. Sinager that represents Udgwibutso, please come forward. Entreprise Udgwibutso Nirangarama also gets a gold seal. And we would like to call the Honorable Minister Famfar Wanyindo to come and present the award to Nirangarama. Congratulations. The last on the list is NCBA Bank. NCBA Bank, where are you?
Congratulations.
Would like to call again Mr. Ozonia to come forward and present award to this very important bank. Congratulations. Now, as you stay here, as they still celebrate, we would also like to recognize the following companies, Legacy Clinics and Chitabi Tea Company. So let's start with the representative of Legacy Clinics. Okay. It's a lady. I'm happy.
Congratulations.
We shall call the representative from Belgian Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I know you're having your dessert, sir. I can see you. The Belgian Minister of Foreign Affairs representative.
Congratulations and celebrations.
Chitabi Tea Company, congratulations for being recognized for your commitment. Thank you so much. And as we end, this is all we have to award and recognize, and would like, for matter of taking pictures.
Now, this is a time for a photo session. You know, they say, na photo na chabai. Okay, so now I'd like to welcome all winners, the CEOs, the representatives of all the winners, including those who are awarded the winners, to come up front for a memorable picture. Move closer just to make sure we are all in the picture. Congratulations once again. Congratulations. Thank you.
We have people who are behind the scenes, the consultants that have been coming to these companies to do a lot of work. Can I see you in front? I see Edward. I see Cecile somewhere. I don't remember all the names. Donna Kamashaz, yes. Gilles Sebaizi, where are you? Gatwaza Edward, can you come in front, please, to be recognized? Eugene Rutawagaya, where are you? Please, yeah, okay, good. Come in front to be recognized.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure to meet different companies and institutions. I was very much impressed by the commitment of the leadership. And I could see that progress has been made after the diagnosis. I really congratulate you. I wish you continue to go ahead. And I hope I will be again with you. Congratulations and thank you very much.
Now, CEO of Inhomoko, you have a few minutes to represent all the companies that have been awarded, and government institutions, of course.
Well, so to all of my private sector colleagues in the room tonight, surprise, I am representing all of us. So I hope I can do some service. But first I would like to acknowledge the honorable ministers who are here, the various UN representatives, all of our distinguished guests. And I am biased, but most importantly, the private sector. And all of the gender equality champions that we have in the room. Because I know that for each one of your companies, there are 5, 10, 20, 50 other people who work with you to make gender equality central to your work every day. And they aren't here tonight, but we honor them and appreciate them. So thank you. I also want to acknowledge that rarely, in my line of work, do I give a shout out to a process. We talk about products, we talk about services, but tonight I want to also acknowledge the process that the Gender Monitoring Office and partners have done with this gender equality seal. And at Inhomoko, we're actually very honored for the opportunity to be evaluated and held accountable. So thank you to the team, the people who evaluated us, the people who gave assessments and recommendations. Thank you for that. Now, for those of you who don't know, in Inhomoko, we offer business development services and access to affordable financing. We have been working in Rwanda now for about 10 years, and over the course of the last decade, we've worked with about 30,000 micro, small, and medium enterprises in the country. Thank you. And when we started this work, we knew that women entrepreneurs were really underrepresented in the private sector. And so we intentionally designed so that we could hire women so that our women entrepreneur clients found relatable people in our business, right? That we were offering gender-friendly services. And in those early years of Inhomoko, we were really proud because over 2/3 of our leadership team and 90% of our board of directors were women. Hold your applause. Because in 2018, we did an assessment and we found that despite women in leadership, only 21% of our portfolio were women-owned businesses. And that we made the wrong assumption that women in leadership would trickle down to women client-facing staff. And we found that most of our loan officers, in fact, almost the overwhelming majority of our loan officers and business advisors were men. And therefore, we weren't actually offering our intention of gender-friendly services, and that our services weren't accessible to women entrepreneurs. And we asked ourselves why. And it was actually International Women's Day 2018 that we had a staff event, and we uncovered some hidden biases in our hiring process. Our field loan officers and advisors, that position was really hard for us to fill. And admittedly, some of our hiring managers who were women said, when given the choice between hiring a young man and hiring a young woman, we prefer hiring the young man. Because if she goes on maternity leave, her coverage is too hard for the rest of our team. And so there we were a women-run and led organization, and we had some of the most discriminatory hiring process because of that one policy, right? And so today, in Homoko is a really different organization, right? We're a really different organization. We found that there is no gender pay gap. In fact, we actually have a slightly negative gender pay gap where women are paid a little bit more on average than men. We offer flexible working hours and arrangements for everyone. We have a leadership development academy that provides pathways and promotions for the young women on our team. But most importantly, the single policy that we changed was we offered 2 months of paid paternity leave. And many of our moms on our team, were skeptical, right? They said, this is going to be harder for us. But it was when we offered near equal parental leave that we stopped discriminating against young women in the hiring process. Because when you hire a woman who has 3 months of potential leave and you hire a man who has 2 months of potential leave, that actually is pretty equal. And we want to get to full equality. And we have to plan for that in our staffing. But that's one of the goals that we have over the coming years. And I have to say that today, 46% of our entire staff are women, across the board. 2/3 of our leadership team are still women. 2/3 of our board leadership is women. And right now, 52% of our borrowers are women. And finally now, right, we have hit that original intention. And I want to say as an organization, and Homoko has grown 10x since 2018, demonstrating that when you do the right thing for gender equality, that is the smart thing for business growth. And I want to say that in private sector, there's a little bit of competition. So I too saw the posts that the Development Bank of Rwanda put out this International Women's Day, where they acknowledged, or that they opened a daycare within their building. And I saw that. I was both inspired and I wanted to compete. And hearing some of the great policies of the winners tonight, now I'm taking notes of how can we offer 6 months of flexible work, right? Like the National Bank for new parents. How are we thinking about offering better services for our women and men? And right, in private sector, competition is healthy. And right now, we are competing for a more equal community for all of us. And I encourage those of you not just to compete within HOMOCO, but that we also cooperate and we co-create. Because my hope for this event, no matter how lovely it was tonight, we could see that there was not enough room for photos. And in not the far future, but in the near future, I hope this event is held at the BK Arena and that all of the micro, small, and medium enterprises are certified because they too believe that doing the right thing for gender equality is the smart thing for business growth. So thank you.
And so without taking much of your time, let me welcome the Chief Gender Monitoring Office, Madame Rose, to come and give a vote of thanks. And as she will be giving the vote of thanks, would also request you to invite the Honorable Minister for Gender and Family Promotion to do the closure.
Honorable Ministers, Governor of National Bank of Rwanda, development partners, CEOs, distinguished guests, good evening. It is an immense pleasure to be here tonight with you, and I am very honored for your presence here. It is really a pleasure that we have responded to this invitation and joined us in this celebration. Thank you very much. We are really honored. We appreciate your time and the continued partnership. Your involvement in the interests of the Gender Equality Seed Program is a sign of commitment that is going to contribute to advance even more and further gender equality in this country. I learned from Gomera to tell stories. I don't know if I make it like you, Gomera, but I'll try it. And I'm telling a very old story, before I was born, so it is really very long time. And it is when in ancient Greece, when they were defining democracy, they sit in the assembly that was called at that time the Agora, it's like our parliament, and they're defining democracy. And, you know, they discussed in any parliament and assembly, defining who is the citizen, what is democracy, good governance, human rights. It was there already. But then they concluded and remembered, say, okay, we are defining who is a citizen. And we have been talking about men. Where do we put women? And it was a big challenge because nobody had thought about women. And they said, but can we make a woman a citizen? If she is a citizen, she will sit in the assembly. And it was impossible. A woman sitting in the Agora. And they said, no, that is impossible. They said, you know, this is a tough question. Let us give it to philosophers. They sent the question to the philosophers and said, okay, can you tell us what we do with women? Can they be citizens? And they pondered the questions, looked at many books, discussed days and nights. They come up with a response. You know, this is tough for us. We can't know if women have, at that time, to escort a psyche to say that they have something inside. Here, they said, we are not sure that they have it. Are they real human beings? Let's send the question to faith-based organizations. This we can't define it. If they are real human beings and they have a spirit, they have, and they sent it to the faith-based organizations. They also failed. They said, you know, we need to pray. But in Rwanda, we prayed. And we know women are citizens. They have to contribute, but they have also to benefit. We have resolved that, and we know that we're on the right path. You have seen what. Don't clap for me, clap for the private sector. That is really making it. Thank you so much. Private sector, you've made it. We are only contributors. We have supported you together to reach this stage. We thank the private sector. We thank all the partners who are here. Thank you so much, UNDP and UN Women. Thank you, all of you, who have really believed in this and who are making this happen. Nagira ngo nongere nshimire cyane companies zabonye uyu munsi award. Nagira ngo ntimubifate nk'ikintu cyoroheje. You are making history in this country. Murimo muratwereka ibidasanzwe kandi ejo mu myaka itaha nibwo muzabona ku cyo mwakoze uyu munsi gifite akamaro. Nagira ngo nongere mbashimire cyane kuba mwabanye natwe. Nagira ngo nshimire abadufashije bose. Nagira ngo nshimire by'umwihariko abakonsulta berekanye hano badufashije kuko ibi byose ntabwo twari gushobora kubikora neza tutari kumwe nabo. Thank you so much. Cecile, thank you much. Thank you so much. The team behind there, you did a great job. Munyemerere rero sabe nyakubahwa Minister wa Gender aze adu closing iri nama kandi aduhe n'impanuro tutahana twese. Murakoze.
Honorable Minister, Chief Gender Monitor, dear one UN Resident Coordinator, UNDP Country Representative, leaders of public, private institutions, development partners, good evening. Allow me to continue my remarks in Kinyarwanda. It's actually a challenge coming after the beautiful remarks, songs, testimonies we had, but I will try. Dutangira uku kwezi tuzirikana ibikorwa by'iterambere ry'umugore. Twari twabibonye ko kuzaba ukwezi kwiza kubera ko ku itariki ya mbere y'uku kwezi twagiriwe umugisha wo kwifatanya na nyakubahwa Madame Jeannette Kagame dutangira ihuriro ry'abagore bari mu nzego z'ubuyobozi ku rwego rwa Afurika ishami ryaryo mu Rwanda. Ibikorwa byinshi byarakomeje muri uku kwezi, byinshi twabigiyemo twarabibonye haba kuri social media n'ahandi, ariko kuri uyu mugoroba byo byabaye agahebuzo. We have capable MCs there. I think they'll give a summary after my speech. Byabaye agahebuzo kubera uyu munsi twatangiye turonshinga twongera turonshinga kugeza ku munota wa nyuma, kandi ibi byose bitwereka ko bishoboka. Mugenzi wanjye Minister yavuze ngo promoting gender equality is not a slogan. It's a reality. Kandi niko twabibonye. Kwimakaza ihame ry'uburinganire mu bikorera ni intambwe ikenewe mu rugendo turimo rwo guteza imbere igihugu cyacu, kuko dufite intego yuko igihugu cyacu kiba kiri middle income country by 2035 and upper income country by high income country by 2050. Uru rugendo rero ni byiza ko turujyamo nta usigaye inyuma. Umugenzuzi mukuru w'ihame ry'uburinganire Mama Rose niko dukunda kumwita, ajya akunda kutuganiriza ukuntu iki gikorwa gitangira byari bigoranye, ko byagaragaraga abikorera bakumva ko bidashoboka, ko haribazwaga se ihame ry'uburinganire ryinjira mu mafaranga gute, ihame ry'uburinganire ryinjira mu bikorera gute. Ariko uyu munsi twabonye ko no mu gukurikirana ko amandazi akoze neza yujuje ubuziranenge, mu gukurikirana ko amazi tunywa yujuje ubuziranenge, ihame ry'uburinganire rijyamo kandi bigashoboka. Nta na hamwe ihame ry'uburinganire ritajya kuko ni ubuzima bwacu bwa buri munsi. Ibi rero bigenda bigaragaza n'umusaruro kuko nk'igihugu turishimira ko turi ku mwanya wa mbere muri Afurika mu kuziba icyuho hagati y'abagore n'abagabo, kandi ibi ngibi yes dutanga amashyi kuko ni ibintu byo kwishimira. I want I have some of the participants clapping. I was saying that Rwanda is now ranked as #1 in Africa in closing gender gap according to the World Economic Forum Global Gender Gap Report of 2022, and #6 on global level. This achievement is have been only possible by joining our efforts, the private sector, the development partners, the support that we have got from all of you sitting here. Ibi ngibi bifite igisobanuro kuko ibarura riheruka ryatugaragarije ry'abaturage ko abagore bagize 51%. Aba bose barenze icyakabiri cy'abanyarwanda bafite ubushobozi, bafite ubwenge, badahawe umwanya wabo mu guteza imbere igihugu, twaba twibeshya kuzageza kuri ya ntego twifuza kugeraho nk'igihugu muri 35 no muri 50. Ariko kandi iyo dushubije amaso inyuma tukareba umubare w'abagore bari mu buhinzi, nabyo byagaragajwe n'iri barura, 69% by'abanyarwanda bakora ubuhinzi, kandi abenshi ni abagore, ari bwa buhinzi nabwo bw'amaramuko subsistence farming. Aha rero niho umuntu yibaza ati aba bagore bakeneye kuva hariya, bakeneye kwinjira mu bucukuzi bw'amabuye y'agaciro, kandi twarabibonye ko bishoboka. Bakeneye kwinjira mu batwara abantu n'ibintu, the transport sector is still male dominated. Bakeneye kwinjira mu ikoranabuhanga, bakeneye kwinjira mu bwubatsi, bakeneye no kwinjira ahandi hose tukibona ko batarimo kandi hinjiza amafaranga. Imwe mu mbogamizi rero tugenda tubona cyane cyane ituma tutababona hariya muri iriya mirimo ikigaragara cyane nkaho yiganjemo igitsina gabo, ni imyumvire ishingiye ku muco iheza umugore n'umukobwa, ikabakumira mu mirimo imwe n'imwe yitwa ko ari iya kigabo, bigatuma batiga amashami amwe n'amwe nk'ay'ubumenyi n'ikoranabuhanga, engineering, imibare, bityo bigatuma tutababona muri iriya mirimo. Iki ni kimwe mu bisobanuro by'umubare mutoya ukigaragara muri biriya byuho. Leta rero yashyizemo imbaraga, kandi natwe twese dufatanyije kugira ngo tubone abagore n'abakobwa benshi binjira muri iyi mirimo. Twababonye mu mashanyarazi, twababonye mu bucuruzi, twababonye mu bwubatsi, twababonye hose kandi birashoboka. Ikindi naganaho ngana ku musozo, kubera ko byose byavuzwe kandi bivugwa neza mbere yanjye, ntabwo ari byiza ko nza gushimangira, ariko ndashaka kongera kugaruka ku ruhare rw'abagabo, kuko iyi mirimo tuvuga ikiri male dominated, ni ukuvuga abayobozi bayo abenshi ni abagabo. Uruhare rw'abagabo rero turarukeneye, kandi dufite icyitegererezo. Our president Sahifoshi, abenshi mwaramujoyininze, kandi turashaka ko bikomeza. Uruhare rw'abagabo rero turarukeneye kugira ngo ibi byose bishoboke, kugira ngo dufatanye muri uru rugendo, kandi twemera ko abagabo n'abahungu ari abafatanyabikorwa b'ingenzi mu kugera ku mpinduka z'uburinganire. Ndatekereza ko izi mpinduka nizikomeza nk'uko twabonye kuri uyu mugoroba, the CEO of Inkomoko has wished to have this event for upcoming years in BK Arena or KCC, and we think it's possible. Dukurikije rero izi mpinduka tugenda tubona, twizera tudashidikanya ko tuzagera mu cyerekezo 2035 2050 ntawe usigaye inyuma. twese dushyize imbaraga mu kubaka igihugu cyacu. Gender equality seal is the way to go. Murakoze cyane, mbifurije umugoroba mwiza.